Okay, lesson 18. Our first problem is going to be x plus 3 equals negative 5. So I'm going to put up an x, a positive 3, a red 3, and equals a negative 5. The first thing I'm going to do from both sides is I'm going to add a green 3, or I'm going to add a negative 3 to both sides. So here we go. Here's 1 3 and our second negative 3. So by adding it to both sides, I haven't changed the value of our equation. I'm now looking at a positive red 3 and a negative green 3. And those two are opposites, and so the value of those are 0, so I'm going to remove them. And what I'm left with is x equals negative 8. We have one more problem to do. Our next problem is 2x plus negative 5. So we're going to start by putting in 2 blue pawns plus a negative 5 plus a green cube equals negative 7. Okay, I'm going to subtract a green 5 from both sides, or I'm going to subtract a negative 5 from both sides. When I do this, 7 minus 5 gives me a negative 2. So I've got 2x equals negative 2. So each x equals negative 1. That's it for lesson 18. Okay, this is lesson 19. We're going to add a convenient 0 to solve these problems. Our first problem is star minus 3 equals negative 6. So I'm going to set this up. We need a white pawn to represent star. And now I'm supposed to subtract 3. There is no 3 on the board, so in order to get around this, I'm going to add a convenient 0. So a 0 with 3's would be a red 3 and a green 3. So I add my 0, and now I can do what the problem is asking me to do. Subtract 3. So I'm going to take off a 3. So off it goes with the red 3. And now I can set up the rest of the problem. I subtracted 3 and it equals a negative 6. So here's my negative 6. So I'm set up for the problem, and now I'm just going to subtract a green 3 from both sides, or subtract a negative 3 from both sides. So I'm going to take 3 off the left hand side, and 6 subtract a negative 3. Here we are. So we have the star equaling negative 3. And that's the first problem. Here we go for a second problem. 3 star minus negative 2 equals 8. So just like the same problem, or the last problem, we're going to set up 3 stars. And now we're going to subtract a negative 2. Well, I don't have a 2 on the board. So I'm going to add a 0 value. So a red 2 and a negative green 2. And now I can do what the problem is asking me to do, subtract a negative 2. So I'm just going to take off the negative 2. And let's set up the rest of the equation here, equals 8. So now I have 3 star plus negative 2 equals 8. And I see 2 red cubes. I can take 2 off of both sides. 8 minus 2 is, in fact, 6. So I have 3 star equaling 6. So each star is going to equal 2. 2, 4, 6. Star equals 2. That's it for lesson 19.